Appreciate you all coming out today. Before we get started, I want to introduce a few of our partners, both from the federal government as well as the state of Georgia, that are here with us today. We're pleased to be joined by the Georgia Insurance Commissioner, John King, the Assistant Fire Chief of the Atlanta Police Department, Chief McLemore. Also from our federal law enforcement partners, the ATF Special Agent in Charge, Ben Gibbons, the FBI Special Agent in Charge, Carrie Farley. From the GBI, we have Cynthia Atkins, and then the Fire Chief from Gwinnett County, Fred Cephas, and then Dave Wilkinson from the Atlanta Police Foundation. For the There you go. Thank you all so much.
White balance.
Thank you all so much. For the last number of months, we have contended with a very small group of individuals that have worked very hard to impact the quality of safety in Atlanta. They have been using the tool of fire and the crime of arson to make sure, for whatever motivation, that when a citizen or visitor to the city calls 911, that the individual that shows up doesn't get there quick enough, isn't prepared to do what they're supposed to do when they arrive, and they're not trusted when they arrive and leave. We've seen these arsonists cause resources to be redeployed away from the normal functions of patrol to protect city property, contractors, construction sites. And we've seen families just going to work impacted because of arson. These individuals have placed citizens' lives at danger. They are working hard to make sure that first responders aren't there when they're called upon by callers to 911. And I'm joined today by our partners because we're working very hard and aggressively to hold those individuals accountable, to remove them from the streets, to make sure they cannot use fire yet again as a tool to put lives in danger and impact the first responder network right here in Atlanta, Georgia. Individuals have been arrested. Court cases are underway, but there's still others that have to be taken off the street before they strike again. And so I'm pleased to announce today that with our federal partners and with the state of Georgia, that the FBI, the ATF, the Georgia Arson Control Board, as well as Crime Stoppers of Greater Atlanta are pooling funds to announce a $200,000 reward for individuals that bring forth information that leads to the identity, the conviction, and the arrest of those that have been starting fires right here, not only in Georgia, but 21 fires across the United States, 4 states, that have caused nearing $10 million of damage right here in the state that we all call home. It is important that the citizens understand that if this individual and individuals aren't caught, they will likely strike again, and that they are impacted by these arsons. I want to go through a few of the fires that we are focusing attention on that have impacted us right here in our area. I'm going to go to the most recent one, happened in Gwinnett County this past November. This was Ernst Concrete when a number of construction equipment was set on fire. Then we go to 3 arsons that happened right here in Atlanta on McDonough Boulevard, where a contractor, Brent Scarborough, was targeted 3 different times in the month of October of this year, July of this year, as well as April of this year. This construction equipment was not even connected to the construction of a public safety training center. These were citizens that were going about their day, individuals in the city waiting to have that project completed that were targeted. And then this agency has not been left untargeted. We've had 2 police facilities that have been targeted. We had our precinct at 180 Southside Industrial. That precinct is vital when we protect the Peachtree Road Race, vital when we protect the Pride Parade, vital when we protect any gathering. That precinct was vital when we protected the ceremonies honoring our former First Lady here. While this precinct was set on fire, ladies and gentlemen, there was an officer inside of that precinct. The vehicles that were parked there were all underneath an occupied police facility. And that same night, there was an attempt to set on fire police vehicles that protect the Beltline, that circle our city, that many, many citizens enjoy each and every day. The first fire attack was against a youth center that also at the time could easily have had midnight programming in place. We used programming around the clock to fight crime in the city to be able to secure the safety of young men and women right here in Atlanta, Georgia. And that center was set on fire in the middle of the night. Why are we pointing this at the group that is opposed to the Public Safety and Training Center? Because they've taken credit for this. They've taken credit for each of the construction sites that have been hit. They've taken credit for attempting to burn an occupied police precinct. They've taken credit for attempting to burn the Path Force precinct. And they've taken credit, proudly, for attempting to set up, for not only attempting, but setting on fire a youth center right here in Atlanta, Georgia. The citizens are going to be key for us bringing the last group of individuals to justice that have been setting these fires. And we believe that a $200,000 reward through Crime Stoppers, which you can be anonymous to provide information and anonymous to claim that reward, will be key for us identifying the individuals that have done damage that you've seen on the screen, that have impacted the safety right here in Atlanta, Georgia, many locations throughout Georgia, and are active across the United States. I want to again thank our partners. I've seen the agents and investigators of the agencies represented behind me hard at work on behalf of Atlantans. I've seen them out on weekends. I've seen them out on holidays because they know how important it is to get these individuals off the street. And now we ask the citizens of Atlanta, we ask the viewers of the region, and other news agencies will carry this in states like Michigan and Minnesota and New York to take notice as well, because you may be the one that ensures the safety right here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm now going to bring Deputy Chief McLemore to the microphone to speak on the issues related to the fire dangers right here in our city that's been caused by these arsonists.
Good morning, everyone. As we talk about impacts caused by arson, it affects our businesses, those that are participating in helping out building the Atlanta Public Safety Training Center. We suffer from additional costs due to arson that these companies face and individuals face. When equipment is damaged and burned, that affects families, that affects lives, that affects paychecks, that has an impact as Atlantans and Georgians move forward. From this, when we respond to calls as a fire department, that puts our firefighters at risk, that puts occupants at risk when these fires occur. So in the end, when we move our fire resources around, responding to arson calls, that impacts others that may have impending life challenges facing them, where we may not be able to respond quickly because we're out somewhere else facing an arson call. That's the most important thing that I can say. We've got to get a hold on it. Thank you.
Good morning. I am John King, Georgia Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner. And we are a supporting agency with our State Fire Marshal's Office investigators supporting the Atlanta Fire Department and the Atlanta Police Department. But why am I here? I'm a graduate from the Atlanta Police Academy back in 1985. I went to the police academy on Key Road. And so there's a lot of conversations about, a lot of emotions attached to this. But the bottom line, why is the state involved? Because we're supporting the city of Atlanta. Not only is the losses of equipment important, because there's families attached. Those drivers, those construction workers, every one of those families is affected, especially in this Christmas season. Folks are not able to collect a paycheck, and that's why it's so important. We have some incredible investigators participating in really working this case hard, but this case is going to be broken with that key information from our citizens, because you are being affected. The capabilities of this police training center is not just going to be for the police department. It's going to be able to help not only to train police officers to work with firefighters, with EMTs. And so there's an effect to the rest of the community. But I care about this training center because I trained here on Key Road back in 1985 in a temporary facility. Atlanta's been waiting for a permanent world-class training center for 30 years. Atlanta deserves to have this training center so our officers are not trying to figure it out on the streets with our citizens when they're trying to solve key problems. And also, this affects every one of our citizens in there, because all these losses, yes, there's an insurance company that will probably cover some of the costs, but those losses will be passed on to the customers. So we all will take the losses. And so we are all involved in this. This is the only way we're going to break this case, is by that key information and those calls from those anonymous tipsters, because that's how we've broken any major case that we've had in modern history. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Look forward to your questions. Chief?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. So to reiterate, this is a joint, as we have investigators out working the street by all the agencies behind me, this is a pooling of funds from the agencies to go to the $200,000 for the anonymous information that we believe will break the case open. You can go online or you can call 404-577-TIPS. Give us information that you know will help bring these individuals to justice. That information is likely to save a life. We've been very fortunate that no one has died yet in these careless attacks that have no good at all, no motivation other than to harm. And the harm is spread across all 245 of our neighborhoods. Right now, police patrols diverted to make sure we continue to patrol areas that are likely to be targeted. Police patrols protecting the training center. Those officers can be used elsewhere as well, but nothing is more important than a citizen knowing that when they dial 911, we're going to get there quickly, we're going to be very good when we get there, what we're going to do, and we're going to be trusted when we arrived and when we left, and training is the thing that delivers that for every citizen right here in Atlanta. I'm going to open for any questions you all may have. Thank you for getting this important message out to your readers, your listeners, and your viewers. Yes, sir.
Has there been any impact on the contractors at the training center? Has anyone backed out? Do you have to pay them extra because their trucks are getting burned up?
Construction continues, and we are still on schedule. We're very fortunate that we have individuals that believe in doing right, and we're very fortunate that we have individuals, while they're being targeted and threatened, you all see the threats yourself, that we have individuals still believe in doing the right thing, and we have companies of character that are believing in this city, and they believe in the men and women that wear the uniform. So we're fortunate that we're staying on track. And this initiative today, announcing a $200,000 reward, will ensure that we're able to keep the project on track, because we are going to put the persons in jail that are starting these fires.
Chief,
Yes, ma'am.
two quick questions. So when you were talking about people actually blocking the fire trucks, so are you actually saying that when an emergency call goes out, that they're actually blocking the trucks? Can you explain that a little bit?
If
Or this is for Akimore?
Repeat your question. You said blocking.
Are people actually blocking the trucks from responding to emergency situations?
No, not from our locations. No,
Not from
no.
not from your location. And also, Chief, if you can, I don't know if they could bring this up, the video at the youth center, can you walk us through what we're seeing there? Because you can see, like, people actually moving. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on?
So you're seeing individuals that started the fire that night. And so you're seeing individuals that likely do not have any connection to Atlanta, Georgia, at the end of the day, they want to deconstruct good government, responsible government, and proper public safety. And these individuals that night, in an effort to do that, set a youth center on fire. And so these are the individuals that we know that someone out there that's watching this video knows exactly who that is, knows who targeted this location. And we're letting that person know. You can call, don't give us your name. We only need to know the information. If that leads to the conviction and the arrest, there is up to $200,000 that will be provided to that individual by doing right by the citizens of Atlanta, Georgia, and the youth of Atlanta, Georgia.
Chief, is there going to those people who, may have some information out there, but there is, just based on my reporting, so much concern where people are even afraid to say they support the Public Safety Training Center because they fear retaliation, and we've seen what these folks can do. What do you say to them when, even despite a $200,000 reward, they may still be afraid to come forward?
And that's why we're using Crime Stoppers. Crime Stoppers has a proven track record of allowing information to be brought into the investigation that's valuable, that leads to arrests and convictions. And to this day, each of you do not know any of those individuals that help to solve murders, take robbers off the street, able to take individuals into custody that have been doing violent crimes right here in the city, stopping gangs. And so it is a proven system of getting information, returning rewards, and making sure the citizen remains anonymous. It's proven, it's safe, and it's effective.
Chief, can you talk about the profile of this group? Do you believe that this same group is responsible for each one of these? How many people are a part of this group? Do you think they're local? Do you think they're across state lines? Again, how are they all connected?
Certainly. Well, we see that the same group takes credit each and every time on their source of giving information out. And so it's likely to be that same group, very small in number, moving from state to state, is likely the profile of these individuals. What is known is they're dangerous. And what is known is they don't care about life and safety. They want to affect it in the now, and they want to affect it in future 911 calls moving forward. And so they will likely continue to try to move in this space, continue to likely use fire until they're taken off the street. And that's why we're here today.
And Chief, based on your investigation, is there any sort of scenario that they're targeting, why they're targeting different places? For instance, why the community center? Any specific explanation as to the locations that are being targeted?
It's very simple. They want to make sure that they see what has always been Atlanta, which is the private and the public sector come together for good to advance this city forward. It's look at everything that goes on in Atlanta. The Atlanta Police Training Center is a public-private initiative. The Atlanta Police Foundation has been important in that role, making sure that the community wants a well-staffed police department, a well-staffed fire department, and well-trained. And so when they attacked the youth center, they thought they were going after the Atlanta Police Foundation. But at the end of the day, kids that were looking forward to going to that facility the next day, kids that needed to go to that facility the next day, couldn't go. And that's who was impacted. So this whole let's deconstruct a training center, at the core of it, we need to report what that's really about. But when you set these fires, you're going after young men and women that needed that youth center that day to get a meal. They needed a youth center that day to get the three things that are the best crime fighters always, which is a stable home life, jobs, and education. Those police at Promise Centers do that every single day, and that's what was shut down.
You mentioned a number or a small group. Do we have an approximate number of the people that we're looking for? There's a couple in the video. Are we thinking 2, 3? Are we thinking 15, 20? What are we thinking?
It's very, very small, ma'am. It is a handful of individuals that are having a much larger impact on the safety of the city than they should have.
Chief, how many have been arrested? You mentioned some of this, people have been arrested already. How and how were you able to get them?
Yeah, so there's a number. We've made arrests of individuals that set police cars on fire on Peachtree Street just last January. We've made arrests of individuals that set equipment on fire out at the site last March 5th. We've made arrests of individuals that have brought devices that were likely to start fires. That has been covered by you all. Those individuals are in court. They're moving through court, and that evidence will be brought forward. So individuals are being held accountable. A number have been, and this is, I think, we're down to the most extreme and the most dangerous that need to be brought to justice.
And Chief, have there been any arrests made in association with, in relation to the cases that you're highlighting today?
Not at these, that's why we highlight them today. There are cases to be made there. We got to remember, this group didn't just show up in our region just because we're building a public safety training center. This group was already in the woods trying to stop the building of the Michelle Obama Park by burning construction equipment. So this is a playbook that they were already playing out in our region before we announced the training center being built. And the same tactics of equipment being set on fire in DeKalb County to prevent the building of a park just moved down the street, and they've started using it next door to be able to stop this construction site.
$200,000, when was the last time you saw the rewards?
This is a significant increase in reward money because it's that important. The next fire could cost someone their lives. We're fortunate that we've seen a drop in our homicide rate in the city this year. But the fire of an occupied police precinct, youth center, the fire of an occupied office building could have disastrous, catastrophic outcomes. And so getting these individuals off the street will prevent something much more tragic than we've seen already.
All right, if that's it, we do appreciate it. We thank you. Everything will be posted on the APD website as well as the AFRD website. Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you, everyone.